Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to install or create a SQL Server instance with high availability in GCP. Also, we are going to learn how to fail over SQL Server instance from one zone to another zone manually in GCP. Let's go ahead and take a look. I would like to read a few of the information here, and then we will start working on the demo. The purpose of an high availability configuration is to reduce downtime when a zone or instance becomes unavailable. That's a very important point. That's why we want to configure high availability. This might happen during a zone outage, so that's a possibility. Maybe zone have some problem and there is outage going on, or the instance runs out of the memory, so that could be another reason. With high availability, your data continue to available to the client application. Because we have set up a high availability in case zone outage happen, or the instance primary instance go out of the memory and went down, then other instance will be available, so data is going to be always available to the clients in that cases. Now, high availability configuration provides data redundancy because the data has to be duplicated across two different instances. So see right there, that's our primary instance and this is our standby instance. So standby instance has its own persistent disk, and standby primary instance has its own persistent disk, and data is replicated between the disk, and they're sharing the same IP. So it is going to have duplicate data. So if you see that the price, that's for if you go with the single zone, you're going to pay less money, but if you will go with multi-zone high availability, you're going to pay almost double amount of the billing, because the data is going to be replicated, and it will be always waiting for this instance to go down. If primary goes down or something happen in this region, this in this zone, then the zone B will bring the second standby instance and make the data available right away. Okay, now let's read some more. A cloud SQL instance configured for high availability is also called the regional instance, and has a primary and secondary zone within the configured region. Within a regional instance, that's our primary instance. The configuration is made up to the primary instance and secondary standby instance. So that's through the synchronous replication to each zone's persistent disk, all writes made to the primary instance are replicated to the disks in the both zones before a transaction is committed. So that's very important. So any transaction that's going to happen here on the primary, that has to be committed on both sides, and then that's how it makes the data available. So it is exactly the same replica what you have right here. The data will be written to the both disk before it is committed. In the instance of zone failure, the standby instance become the new primary instance. Users are then routed to the new primary instance. The process is called the failover, and IP is stay the same. So if you see right there, IP stay the same. So user doesn't have to do anything in case of failover. They have the database, all the databases available. Let's go to the next. There are some notes here. So let's take a look on the note, and here there are cases where Cloud SQL issues a restart instead of failover. So instead of failing over, your primary might get restarted. In that case, what you are going to see, you're going to see restart in the operation and logs information. So that's what you're going to see. After a failover, the instance that received the failover continue to become to be a primary instance. So let's say your instance has failed over on the secondary or standby, then it has become the primary instance, and it will keep working as a primary. Even the first instance comes online. Now, after a zone or instance that experienced an outage become available again, the original primary instance is destroyed and recreated. So that's very important, because during the failover, the standby became the primary. Now maybe the outage is happening for many hours, or maybe for even a few minutes. Then what's going to happen? They will destroy and recreate the one actual instance that was primary at first time. Now then there becomes a new standby instance. Once it is destroyed and recreated, then it will become the new standby instance. If a failover occurs in the future, the new primary will fail over to the original instance in the original zone. So that's very important. I will put this link in the description, and you can take a look from there. So just to put this one again, once your primary instance, let's say, have some problem that might fail over to the standby right here. Okay, now this will become your primary, and what's going to happen, this will be once this region zone come online, this instance will be destroyed and recreated, and then it will stay as a standby. And in case again failover will happen, then this instance will that was became primary, that will fail over back to this one again, and that's how the circle will keep going. Okay, and the IP will stay the same. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, first of all, we are going to go to the SQL here, and then go create instance, and we are going to go for SQL Server. And here we are going to say tech SQL, and I will say high availability, and I'm going to provide my password. Now it is a SQL Server 2019 standard, that's fine. I'm going to go for production, and here we have that choose region and zone availability. So that's very important. For better performance, keep your data close to the services that needs it. Region is permanent, so you can't really change the region, while the zones can be changed anytime. If I will select single zone, then in case the zone fails, there is no high availability available. So to make this high availability, I have to choose a multi-zone. And in this case, the region is going to be, let's say, US East, East 1. And now I'm fine with that. Now I can go ahead and choose the zones. Here I can do primary zone. I can choose right here. Yeah, and it's a US East 1B, C, and D. I can go for B, and then let's say if I will click B here, I'm gonna get an error. See right here, primary and secondary zones should not match. Okay, so you have to choose some different zones because we want the high available. In case this zone goes down, then it will fail over to this one. If we have the same zone, then they will not be available, right? They both, it's one zone, so we have to change to the two zones. Now that's all done. That's all you have to do, multi zones, and then choose a zone, or you can leave any, and then it will do select any out of these three, and then select one that's not selected here, so it will be any different from primary. So your choice. And in case we are just going to go with the B and C. I'm going to go with a little more detail here, and I don't need this high memory and all that. I can go lightweighted, and then one CPU, vCPU, and 3.75 GB. That's fine, and I should be fine. You can see that region here, my SQL Server version, vCPU, memory, storage, and then I have a high availability zone. Now it's all good. For storage, I'm going to go also small, 20 GB. Here I can do public IP, and then I can add my network, so I can connect from my SSMS. Let's go get my IP, and that's my IP. So I got my IP here. I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna go back here and paste my IP. Okay, done, and we should be. I got this error. Let me remove that, and I think there is some space or something. So I'm gonna say my IP, paste it again here, and probably there is some space. Now it should be good. Okay, so we are all good, and we are going to go ahead and create the instance with the high availability. So for high availability, just to let you know, if you will go with single region, you're going to pay, let's say, $100. With the high availability, you will be paying $200 because of this. See right there, you have two instances actually created under the hood. So there is a primary instance, there is a secondary instance. They have their own persistent disks, so the data is replicating right there. So that's why you pay the double the amount. But This is really good in case your zone goes down, and then or you have a problem with the primary replica or primary instance, then in case it will fail over to the secondary or standby, and without any problem your application will be available to access all those databases which are on the your SQL Server instance. Our instance is ready, and we can go ahead and take a look. So let me just right click right there, and now we can simply see right there our instance tech SQL HA is available, and our type is SQL Server 2019 standard. The public IP address is this one, so this is one we are going to use and connect to the SSMS. And here you can see that high availability enabled, and our location is US East 1B right now. So now what we can do, we can simply go ahead and connect right there. Let me show you how to connect to the SSMS. So you will paste your IP here. You will select SQL Server Authentication, and our default user is a SQL Server, and I'm going to provide the password. And now we are connected with our SQL. So if you go right there, and right now we don't have any database, we can go ahead and create a database, and it should be fine. Create database. Test, and that should be it. And now we can use the test database and then probably create some maybe table there. So we'll have some table here. Okay, create table, and the table is created. We can see the data, and now I can refresh this database tab and see test is there, and we have the table called test right there, and that's one we have selected the data as well. Okay, great. Now what we are going to do, we are going to go to the right here. I'm going to copy this location and leave it here. So our regional is our primary replica right now. Primary replica, and that's in this zone, so you can see right there. Okay, let's go back here, and that's our location. Now it's called the zone. We are not really concerned about that part. We can just leave this. Once we click on the replica, what you are going to see, we are going to see failover right there. See right there, we can have a failover, and we can simply click there, and then we can failover between the zones. Here what I have to do, I have to simply paste my instance name, and once I do that, it's gonna fail over from our one zone to another one. So let me cancel this out first of all, and we can take a look on the overview here. I wanna see right now view logs here. Let me show you guys some more information. So see right there, we have a high availability regional, and then what we have there, this is located in our East US 1B. That's also available when I clicked on the instance right there. So that was the same information. I was thinking if we can get some more information, but we can't really get beside this information. That's fine. So we can go simply here, and then what we are going to do, we are going to click on failover, and then we will failover. I will just copy the instance name and then trigger failover. In this case, it's a failure working on failover, and now I can simply go, and if you can see right there, I can select the data. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and insert the data, and maybe I don't know if a go works here. So if I will say go 100 times, and then will that work? Will that put 100 records there? So begin execution loop, go 100. So let's see, new query. So right now we are failing over, so maybe that has caused some of the trigger in this triggering, and then let's see, yeah. So if you're manual failing over, you might have some problems there. So it takes some time while you're failing over, and that's where you might have some problem, like it's not able to connect and all that. That's one of the thing. So if I go back here, See, it's called transport level error occurred because it was not able to connect. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and select now and see what happened. So it did put another record, and you can see right there it's still working. So if I will go ahead and take a look here, in the manual failover instance is being updated, and now the location has changed already, so it is a US East C instead of B. Remember that we have already a replica right there, so it was this one. Now the zone has changed to C. So if I will go ahead and insert the values, it is inserting the values. So maybe there was a just for some milliseconds of time when it did not insert the data, or maybe it was just with the go statement there was some issue, but it is inserting the data. So if I will do now, if I will do insert go, will that work? Yep, now this is working. So yes, for a brief period of time, that was a problem, because I was trying to insert, and then also I tried to open this new query. It did not connect. So while you're doing manual failover, you have maybe a few milliseconds or maybe seconds of disconnectivity. So that's possible. But after that, your instance is available in different zone. So you can see right there, we have now it is located in US East C, and we can go to operations here and see what happened here. So we have a failed over finished. That's what happened here. So that's great. So you see that you can configure your high availability, and in cases you have to fail over between the zone, you can do that from the just come in here on the tab here, and in case you have zone goes down, then it's going to do automatic failover, or your SQL Server instance runs out of memory in one of the zone, then it's going to fail over automatically, and you might see some outage for brief time, or for very short time while it is failing over. As we saw in our case, we had some issue while we were trying to insert the data while it was failing over. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.